Johnny Dollar.
Dollar, this is Raymond Tillotson.
Tillotson?
Yes, Eastern Liability and Trust.
Well, what can I do for you, sir?
Can you come over here and see me right away?
You're in your office at this time of night?
No, at my apartment, 4A at the Kernsley Arms.
Well, what sort of a matter would you like me to investigate, Mr. Tillotson?
No, there's no matter. Not yet, that is, but that doesn't make any difference. I must see you.
Well, look, Mr. Tillotson...
Right away, please.
Well, unless I have some idea of what your problem is...
Heavens, man, can't you see this is urgent, important?
Well, it certainly sounds like it, but
come immediately. 4A at the Kernsley Arms.
Now, look, Mr... Hello? Hello?
The CBS Radio Network brings you Mandel Kramer in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Eastern Liability and Trust, Home Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the No Matter matter. Raymond Tillotson was new to me. I'd never even heard of the man, but Eastern Liability and Trust was an old and generous client. So in spite of the fact that it was after 11 p.m., I put on a shirt and tie, spent item one, $4.70 for a tank full of gas, and drove across town to the Kernsley Arms. It's not the newest of apartment buildings, and after riding up a shaky old elevator, I landed on the 4th floor. It was lighted by a single fly-specked bulb at the far end of a dingy hallway. Now, let's see. Tillotson said 4A, and... Oh, here we are. Mr. Tillotson? That's funny. Some kind of light on in there. Mr. Tillotson? If he was so badly worried about something, maybe I can slip this lock with a card. The lock of this vintage ought to be a lead pipe cinch. There we are. Mr. Tillotson, are you in here? Oh, excuse me, miss. I must have come to the wrong apartment. Miss. The girl sitting by the window was about 25, brunette and beautiful. Her brown eyes were wide open, staring at the floor, but they weren't seeing anything. She didn't move. There was no sign of breathing. Her chest was perfectly still. And above the pocket of her silk blouse was an ugly hole with a powder burn around it that must have been made by a gun at close range. I didn't touch her, but I looked around for a telephone. Mr. Tillotson? Maybe there's a phone in the bedroom. Let's see. I'll find a light switch in here. There we are. Good, there's a telephone. Hello?
Don't bother.
What?
Don't turn around. I've got a gun.
I'll take your word for it.
You shouldn't have come, Dollar. You shouldn't have come.
Must have been along about dawn when I finally came to. At least I could see a bit of light around the edge of the tightly drawn shades. My head felt as though it had been split wide open. Somehow I managed to reach over and pick up the phone and call the police before collapsing again, this time on the bed. How long I lay there, I'm not sure, but then I wakened and staggered into the bathroom and doused my aching head with some cold water. Coming.
This is the police. Open up in there.
All right, I'm coming. Oh.
Well, it's you, huh?
Yeah, listen, officer.
Now, don't tell me the great Johnny Dollar has to beg for help from us poor guys on the force.
I said, listen, officer, there's been a murder here.
No kidding.
Murder?
That's right. See for yourself. It's this girl right over here.
What girl?
She was here, I'm sure, but she was right here in this chair.
Who?
A girl, I tell you, a brunette, a good-looking young brunette.
And she was dead, huh?
Yes, she... Wait a minute, where is she now?
Well, you tell